sitting there. You know, and see, here you have a community, here you have a moment of sharing, here you have social media, and my student let it hang, and it's the first non-comment that dropped a grade, a student's grades. Yeah, yeah. So those kinds of things, and we could talk further about this.
Other questions? Yes, can you come to the mic?
Really loud.
All right, try it.
David, can I take your class?
Yes, yes, please.
All right, I'll give you my card later.
Okay. Yes.
You ever taught it online?
Do you teach online?
No.
I think you got someone up back.
I'm going to holler from the back. David, I've taught systems analysis the last 2 semesters, and I felt like at least a third of the class is what I would describe as life skills as opposed to systems analysis, and I feel like I'm hearing a lot of that from you. And I'm kind of interested in how you think about the divide between a professional skill set and teaching people to enjoy experiences, or in my case, how to be part of an organization where you're understanding politics and economics.
Yeah, yeah. I'm fortunate to teach at a small Jesuit school that has social justice and reflection at the heart of its education. And so, and I'm also, because it's a small class of 12 students, it's mostly all graduating seniors. And so I build into the class a lot of reflection about who we are who we eat. We also reflections about where your food comes from. The final assignment is to take some kind of dish that comes from your cultural heritage, and these are some beautiful, really emotionally driven pieces. And I encourage my students to think emotionally and to think seasonally, but also to think emotionally, and certainly to use the word "I." That's not a problem in my classes, as long as you edit. As long as you edit your photographs, as long as you have really solid work, you can take it in any place possible. But I think that I'm able to do that because it's a media studies class about self-expression, and also because our university really values self and collective reflection.
Yes.
May I?
Yes, go ahead.
Excuse me. I will speak loudly. I think that's generally not a problem. I have a question for all 4 of you. I can't ask it now, so trust me, I'll figure out a way to do it during a lunch break or something. I want to ask you, Liz, I'm really intrigued about this sandbox that you talked about, sandbox for student projects, and I'd like to ask a very specific question. Can you comment on the infrastructure, intellectual, operational, administrative, the things you need to make that work?
I think you need some startup funding for it. You need to have an entrepreneur in residence. You need to have a group of interdisciplinary people who will teach. We have faculty who are from our school, from management, from design, from engineering, who all agree to teach it. We are supported by the chancellor, who is very, very entrepreneurial herself. The sandbox is actually in downtown Syracuse at a place called the Tech Garden, which is where what I call the adult startup companies are. So there's a lot of interaction between adults who know how to do entrepreneurship. We are now working with a number of other universities. The entrepreneur in residence is also now giving some of his time to 3 other upstate. So what it is you need, I think, financial commitment from the organization. You need to be able to, it's not hard to get students, is what I'll tell you. That first course, what's the big idea? In 1 semester, they came up with 3,000 new ideas. And what it is, it's an ideation course. They get very excited. They form teams. They vote up. They compete at the end to see who's going to go on to the next course. So I don't know if that's all that you needed. I'm glad to talk more. We're talking with a number of other universities who are very interested in us actually boxing the whole plan, and so other schools can do it, because these 4 courses, which end with the sandbox, are very, very, very successful. And we get great support. Financially, we get support from both my board of advisors, other venture capitalists who are interested. The city is very happy, because some of the companies have now graduated, they're staying local, they're hiring employees and taking over more space. So it's a win-win all around.
And I'm going to add that at NC State, we have a garage right now as part of our entrepreneurship program. And that's not really open to anything other than students in these programs, but we're about to renovate a space for graduate innovation. It will be right next to our new library. The garage is right next to us, and they're building a larger building that we can all share. And I hope to be able to provide this to my colleagues on the staff. We'll have to start slowly, but I think that it's exciting to think about librarians getting into startups. And
Some of the librarians from the university library do go down there
Right.
and support them as well. And there's now 2 dissertations in the work, better understanding, studying how it works.
Great. So did you give me the signal? Yes? All right. Then I'm sorry I'm going to have to close this off now, but our panelists are here throughout the day, so I hope you'll take the opportunity to speak with them. And I'm going to turn it over to Gary, who's going to tell us what to do next.
Good morning, everyone. It's great to see you here. After our first fantastic panel, you now have another great panel experience ahead of you, and I know you'll learn a lot. The first panelist is Mary Chute. She's the Deputy Director for Libraries at the Institute of Museum and Library Services. Soon, she's going to be moving to New Jersey to be the state librarian. Her presentation is entitled A Core for Flexibility, and it's a great reminder of a lot of our most important core values. Charles Lowry is second. He is the Executive Director of the Association of Research Libraries and Professor Emeritus, College of Information Studies, University of Maryland, College Park. His paper is entitled The Open Movement in Research Scholarship. What is it and what does it mean? Joanne Marshall is an alumni distinguished professor at the School of Information and Library Science here at UNC Chapel Hill. Her paper discusses information professionals in the context of 2050 in terms of values and impact, workforce issues, the role of professional associations, and the importance of values. Nancy Roederer is our fourth presenter, a professor of medicine and public health at Johns Hopkins University, and she serves as the director of the Welch Medical Library and the director of the Academic Division of Health Sciences Informatics. Her study is entitled IP Wordles. So, Mary, are you ready?
Hopefully that's the hardest part, getting the microphone in the pocket. I want to thank everybody for having me here. This has been a delight. Gary, the whole team. It has been very fun to be with librarians. And as you heard, I'm making a transition professionally. I have loved being at IMLS. I'm not going to go into that. I don't want to get all misty up here. It has been a great place to work, but as I assess where I am in my career, I realize that if I've got one more, hopefully 6 to 8 year job, I want to be a little closer to the action. And although it's been fun learning how to be a federal administrator, that's not where I want to end up. I'm tired of having people laugh when I walk in and say I'm from the federal government and I'm here to help you. So I am making a transition, and the timing of this opportunity was perfect because it gave me a chance to do a lot of reflecting as I pulled my thoughts together. Notably, I am not an academic. I am not used to designing a curriculum or even doing lesson plans. So I came to this with a perspective of a public library director, a state librarian, which I've been in the past, as well as turning into again in the future, and as a government official. So I think my perspective's a little different. And when I started thinking about looking to the future, even if it wasn't 38 years, I was falling back on strategic planning. I was falling back on outcome-based evaluation.